Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sat. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sat. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Hari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If I'm not mistaken, today we're on Canto 1, Chapter 13, and verses 6 and 7, right? But because 6 doesn't have a purport, we're at 7 also. Am I correct, Prabhu?
Prabhu, I think Jethachandran Prabhu spoke on verse number 7 last time.
Okay.
So, sorry, about 6 last time, yes. So, I think 7 will be the
Okay.
verse for today.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtiki Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto hi Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhritsatam. Please pardon me, dear devotees, for my voice. If it's annoying at all to listen to, thank you for your tolerance. Today we're continuing in the first canto, chapter 13, text 7. The chapter is Dhritarashtra quits home. Tam bhuktva vantam nishrantam asinam sukhamasane prashrayavanato raja prahatesham chashrinvatam. Tam bhuktva vantam vishrantam asinam sukhamasane prashrayavanato raja prahatesham chashrinvatam. Tam bhuktvantam vishrantam asinam sukhamasane prashrayavanato raja prahatesham chashrinvatam. If anyone would like to read.
Tam bhuktavantam vishrantam asinam sukhamasane prashrayavanato raja prahatesham chashrinvatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You can display, Prabhuji.
What's that message? Yeah. Let's see. How can we share?
Hare Krishna, Narottama Vilas Prabhuji.
Hare Srimati. Danaraja was trying to share his screen.
Sorry,
I have permission to do it.
You don't have permission? You should have permission to do it.
Yeah.
I am Vijayalakshmi Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Oh, okay, got it. It'd be better if you did it from your end, Prabhuji. I'm having a difficulty with the security here. and privacy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Vijayashmati, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 13th chapter, 7th verse. Tam bhukta vanantam vishrantam distrinam astanam sukham yasane prastraya vanato raja prahatesam cha srinvantam. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I can't say it properly. Thank you.
Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And I'll just read through I'll just read through the words for words. Tam, him, Vidura, Bhuktavantam, after feeding him sumptuously, Vishrantam, and having taken rest, Asinam, being seated, Sukham, asane, on a comfortable seat, Prashraya avanataha, naturally very gentle and meek, Raja, King Yudhishthira, Praha, began to speak, Tesham cha, and by them, Shrinvatam, being heard. The translation and purport are given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. After Vidura ate sumptuously and took sufficient rest, he was comfortably seated. Then the king began to speak to him, and all who were present there listened. King Yudhishthira was expert in reception also, even in the case of his family members. Vidura was well received by all the family members by exchange of embraces and obeisances. After that, bathing and arrangements for a sumptuous dinner were made, and then he was given sufficient rest. After finishing his rest, he was offered a comfortable place to sit, and then the king began to talk about all happenings, both family and otherwise. That is the proper way to receive a beloved friend or even an enemy. According to Indian moral codes, even an enemy received at home should be so well received that he will not feel any fearful situation. An enemy is always afraid of his enemy, but this should not be so when he is received at home by his enemy. This means that a person, when received at home, should be treated as a relative. So, what to speak of a family member like Vidura, who was a well-wisher for the members of the family? Thus, Yudhishthira Maharaj began to speak in the presence of all other members. Tam bhuktvantam vishrantam asinam sukham asane prasha yavanato raja parahatesham chashrinvatam. After Vidura ate sumptuously and took sufficient rest, he was comfortably seated. Then the king began to speak to him, and all who were present there listened. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Good morning again, dear devotees. Again like to offer my thanks to Jai Satchidananda Prabhu who invited me to this service. It's one of my favorite things to do, to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, to be given a chance to do so. Thank you for your kind attention this morning. And again, please forgive me for the strain on my voice. We're in, this is a turning point in the Bhagavatam. Dhritarashtra is going to quit home, and the reason for his leaving is the presence of Vidura, who, like all Paramahamsas, only has good news and compassion to give to all of the devotees. Vidura is going to speak briefly on transcendental knowledge to his brother and loosen and even break the shackles that the material world has on Dhritarashtra. The soul who, by his willful ignorance of the malicious activities of his son, the Pandavas were put into so much difficulty. That person is going to be given transcendental knowledge by which he's inspired to abandon the kingdom. Well, really to abandon the care that his children are offering him to continue living within the kingdom. And so in this text, what's being explained is the manner in which Vidura is being received by Yudhishthira. It's worth remembering that King Yudhishthira has conquered in the battle of Kurukshetra. Yudhishthira spent his life training to be a king. At one point in his youth, meeting Krishna as his cousin, practicing codes of morality, being trained by one of the, if not the greatest guru of weaponry on earth, being exiled, practicing proper fraternal relationships with his brothers, and fighting for 18 days with the totality of inimical elements in the whole world on this specific battlefield of Kurukshetra. And he came out victorious. Sometimes if we get a job promotion or if we receive one good compliment for one of our services, our sense of prestige can be expanded so much that to continue the attitude of service becomes difficult for us. Prabhupada said in his purport that he's meek and humble. So this person who is the most noble of men, who has just saved the world from inimical elements, is meek and humble, receiving his uncle with kind words, with a sumptuous meal, with giving him enough time to rest, to digest after that meal, and then to continue to speak nice words and offering him a comfortable seat. It's worth note here, what it means to be so attentive to somebody is to put the needs of somebody in front of us. Even though he's by rights the busiest person on earth, being the emperor of everything that he surveys, he's putting a guest that arrives at his house before his own needs. The qualities the qualities of the Vaishnava are acquired by the soul's proximity to Vishnu. Vaishnava means one who belongs to Vishnu. And as the devotees approach Vishnu through the parampara, through the immediate spiritual master, through the assembly of devotees, through devotional service itself, through the Param Guru, and through the Param Guru, through Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the devotees approach Krishna, the qualities of Krishna that are pushing through the parampara begin to manifest. In the same way that glass, as it becomes cleaned of all obstacles, can allow for the light that is present in the world, the shining lamp of knowledge of Krishna and the refulgence of Krishna to shine through the consciousness of the devotee. Krishna is Janmadyasya Yataha. He's the source of everything. And all good qualities eternally exist in him. As a person becomes cleared of misgivings, as a person identifies less with the material configuration of their body, of their psychophysical form, and by practice and by assimilated knowledge comes to identify as the mercy of the spiritual master, as the manifested mercy of the spiritual master, as the dependent beggar of the invitation of the devotees, a person's spiritual nature becomes clear. And that manner in which Krishna treats everyone becomes the wealth of the devotee, to have the privilege of getting to treat others as Krishna treats everyone. Krishna listened to Arjuna while Arjuna included Krishna in his difficulties. Arjuna included Krishna. Why are we, you and I, Krishna, going to commit these sinful activities? You and I, oh buddy, oh friend, oh pal. Why are we going to do this terrible thing to others? Aren't those that destroy religious traditions residents of hell? How could we create unwanted progeny in the world? Our acts are going to contribute in the very activities that we don't want to see here. Woe are we, Krishna, you and I, who are both foolishly engaged in this activity. Sometimes, devotees say, when some misfortune or unfortunate thing happens, the devotees say, well, Krishna must want it. Even though in the Bhagavad Gita says that, I am not implicated, Krishna says, I'm not implicated in the activities of the world. It's not because of me that there are sinful activities. Krishna is totally aloof. Someone asked Prabhupada, well, then why are we here? Why did Krishna let us be here? And Prabhupada said, because you asked Krishna. In the same way that a child may want to do something foolish, but because of his begging, the father who originally doesn't want to allow it concedes. So that Krishna listened to Arjuna while Arjuna voiced his difficulties and revealed his mind and expressed his uncertainties. And only after Arjuna felt heard and relieved himself of everything that was going on in his mind and realized that Krishna wasn't being affected by the perplexities that were ailing Arjuna, Arjuna began to consider, maybe Krishna knows something that I don't know. I'm curious to see what it is that helps him keep such an even keel. And so he asked, Krishna, please instruct me. Please accept me as your disciple. Teach me what you know so that I can have that same resolve. Only then Krishna spoke that knowledge which changes and saves the world and brightens the world. So we're called to be the same person for others. We're called, for example, to have the same capacity that Krishna has to field everyone else's mind and to listen to others. That quality comes from Krishna first. Reflective listening that modern, psychoanalysts and therapists have come upon as the new radical way of creating, empathy and proper dialogue between others. Krishna did 5,000 years ago, and he's been doing since time immemorial. when Krishna received Sudam Brahmana in New Dwarka and let Sudam Brahmana sit on his own bed, the person who had 16,108 different palaces personally received his friend in one of them and let him sit down on his bed, and looking up at him, washed his feet from his journey and greeted him and was so happy to see him, and reminded Sudam Brahman about, do you remember when you and I stayed out in the forest, when we went out to look for firewood for our guru and we didn't find it, but it started to rain, and we both held a chadar above each other in the rain? Do you remember that, Sudam Brahman? And Sudam Brahman is like, of course I remember that. You're my best friend. That way of helping somebody feel welcome, and reminding somebody that, like, I know what we've been through together. I still hold that dear to my heart. I still cherish it. You're still that same person. That ability to hold on to something that Krishna has is something that we're called to do with our partners, with our friends, with other people that we meet, to notice the moments that we spend, and also to pick out the good qualities. Who is better at noticing the good qualities of other than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who so gratefully reveled at the chance to wash the clothing of the devotees, while they were sleeping, and who raced for a chance to offer food. He saw these devotees as indispensable instruments in spreading the Sankirtan movement. And he wanted to be part of the service to those people that dedicated their lives to spreading the holy name around the world. He saw in Krishna Chaitanya is that form of a devotee, that we only saw Krishna being perfect as being Krishna. And everyone else who was perfect as a devotee were people that were absorbed in the highest level of devotion. It was hard for us to see, well, what's the process to arrive at that? And Chaitanya is perfectly showing us what is the process of arriving at the moods of Vrindavan. He's showing us what it's like to just be a playful kid, when he would go in the Ganges and put water in his mouth and then come up above the water and spit water at the brahmanas that were chanting Gayatri. He showed us what it's like to have the heart of parents fall in love with a kid that's running around putting sandals on his shoes, eating dirt, and just being generally reckless. He also showed us what it's like to be attached to knowledge. When he was teaching grammar at the school, they called him Nimai Pandit because he defeated the most intelligent logician of the time, the Digvijaya Pandit. He shows us what it's like to develop an affinity for knowledge and to feel like we can understand, that we can have a good foothold on the world by being situated in knowledge. He showed us what it's like to have a transcendent experience after Jagannatha Mishra abandoned this plane, he showed us what it's like to be a dutiful son and to perform some duty in the benefit of the forefathers who we owe everything to. And then what it's like to have a transcendent experience and to be affected by the mercy of Krishna, to be affected by the miracle of meeting one of Krishna's devotees and the proper way to live one's life after that. He showed us what surrender is like and say, from this point on, after meeting my spiritual master, my life is completely different. And I won't look back at my life. And he showed us what it's like to think and to, before going out to Sankirtan, to plan. I think that one devotee, when they were planning Ratha Yatra, one devotee should lead the Kirtan. And there should be 4 groups of devotees around Jagannath's Ratha Yatra. And then there should be so-and-so mridanga players and 3 devotees that support the singing to amplify naturally the melody of that singer. And I want Nityananda and Haridas to be the dancers of such and such group. And what it was like to organize the Sankirtan movement and to dedicate one's capacity to plan and to care about the future in the same way that so much of us try. This is the way that all of us. It would be irresponsible if we didn't care about what was going to happen, if we lived our life like the future wasn't going to happen. Even if we're not guaranteed another second of material life, we're eternal beings, and we should still consider, what is my service in the future? How do I want to please Krishna later? I don't have enough bandwidth to show Krishna how much I'm grateful for him. I need more time. And that's the way that the devotee is looking at the future. I need more time so I can show Krishna how I love him. Because even though he kindly has accepted what I've given him, there's more that I want to do. I'm already trying to catch up. I'll never have a one up on Krishna. So he showed us what planning is like. And then he showed us what absorption is like. He showed us what delegating the responsibilities that a person acquires in life is like and giving it to the devotees while a person, becomes absorbed internally in their own bhajan. And so in every way, Krishna is always showing us how to behave. And Yudhisthira Maharaj, as a pure devotee, has the same quality. Prabhupada said in a purport that even an enemy received at home should be so well received that he will not feel any fearful situation. And it reminds me of Paramatma, that even though we may be doubtful of the existence of God, we're using the very mouth that Paramatma is allowing us to move up and down with a heart that he's pumping without our wherewithal to say things like that. That Paramatma, Krishna himself, is treating the enemy as though he's a friend. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Krishna is showing us his behavior of friendship towards all living entities. And how much do we benefit from that attitude of friendship? Prabhupada said that the closest love on earth to the transcendental love that Krishna the Father feels for his children is the love that a mother has for her children. It's the closest thing on earth to transcendental love. It's the closest thing to unconditional love. And this capacity that a person has to independently treat someone else like a friend, despite all their wrongdoings, it's such a wonderful display of mercy that can change the life of an individual. We know that there's no such thing as absolute evil in the world, but there's only relative degrees of ignorance. And being able to treat someone like a friend is the perfect antidote of alleviating the degree of ignorance that another soul feels. Abraham Lincoln, in fact, said, was it Abraham Lincoln? Do I not destroy my enemy by making him my friend? It's that, it's that, it's that nature of Krishna that wins. As Krishna, he fights fire with fire, but as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doesn't fight demons. He turns everyone into a devotee. He turns everyone into a devotee, and that we're asked to do something even more merciful than Chaitanya, even more merciful than Nityananda. And it's not meeting people with the same energy that they have. It's not accepting the Siddhanta of someone who thinks I'm their enemy. It's accepting the Siddhanta of Chaitanya and of Krishna and of Yudhishthira that sees that, and even Indian moral codes. This isn't even transcendental. This is an Indian moral code. This is a mundane way of looking at the world of, and this is actually important to mention. We don't need to be at the platform of spiritual knowledge to behave in the way that devotees that are transcendent behave. Krishna does this naturally because he's Bhava Grahi Janardana. He sees all the good in others, like a swan that can extract the milk from a mixture of milk and water. Krishna, Balaram specifically, can extract the soul from the entanglement of the material world. And Nitai and Nimai are the same. They see, look at that, that's a soul who belongs to Krishna, and I can't wait to see their service. And that capacity that they have to see our good is our good fortune, because mercy descends. And in the Madhurya Kadambini, it's explained that Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur explains that one method by which Krishna gives his mercy to the devotee is, and this is worth taking note, Krishna extends his capacity to give mercy to others to his devotee. In other words, he makes his devotee an agent of distributing Krishna's mercy independently. Explained another way, when Prabhupada landed in Boston Harbor and he looked at everyone, he said, you know, these are devotees of Krishna that deserve to know that they're all lovers of God. They all deserve to know the process of loving Krishna. And because of his vision, we're here today. If Prabhupada had thought these people haven't performed any purificatory processes, but to speak of that, every one of these people have eaten a cow, then there's no greater sin than killing a cow. The one being that Krishna loves so much that he sees himself eternally as a protector of, those people, these people are killing. Not only that, they're atheists, they're criticizing God in all of their actions. He didn't see any of that, but he saw the order of his spiritual master to spread the message of Chaitanya Deva to the Western countries. And that has become our fortune. Now, a no one Danaraja is allowed to speak on, or is allowed to talk on Bhagavatam, and all of us at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're sheltered from whatever else society was asking us to do, to sit around. There's a devotee who he reminds me to speak on the 9 processes of devotional service. So I'd like to speak on them, to accept his mercy. We may not be capable of chanting the way that we like, and we may not be capable of offering prayers with the right presence that the devotees that are in the Bhagavatam offer prayers. We may not be able to worship the deity in the proper manner, the way that the deity deserves. And we may not even see Krishna as a friend, even though he is. We may not see from moment to moment that every breath that we're taking is his mercy on us, that he's giving us a chance to stay in this same body that has such a great, wonderful collection of knowledge. We not only have knowledge of what being in the world is like and how terrible it is, but we also have knowledge of, to some degree, of of the fortune that it took Prabhupada to be here. We've met our spiritual master. We've made friends with the devotees. We've offered obeisances to the deity. We've gotten to chant Hare Krishna. Like, we're at the intersection of spiritual existence. We are at the place to be right now. And Krishna is extending this breath for another second. So we may not be able to worship that deity who facilitated all of this in the perfect way. We may not be able to surrender everything. But even if Smaranam is one of the nicest processes of devotional service, because it's where longing happens. It's where the lamentation to be a better disciple of our spiritual master, to be a better assistant to Srila Prabhupada takes place. It's a place where appreciation for the devotees that do love Krishna takes place, and it's a great place to begin Smaranam. And so are the first three: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. We can always listen to Prabhupada. He said that these purports are his devotional ecstasies. So sometimes we see a devotee who's crying, and we take a moment to pause because it's an external display of love. Or we see a devotee that's jumping in the air like a wild person, and we think that's something real, it's happening nearby. But Prabhupada said that every single one of his purports is his devotional ecstasy. So it's a way of bringing us in contact with what is the nature of a person who truly loves Krishna. And if we can do this, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, if we can do this every day, then the misgivings in our heart will be removed. And that is our great fortune. Thank you very much for your attention. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. If I've missed out anything, or if I didn't make a point, please, the floor is yours. If I made any mistakes in the presentation, that the mistake is my inability. But if there was anything worthwhile, then that belongs to my spiritual masters. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danaraja Prabhu, this is Pram Karanadas.
Dandavats Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. I really love that section of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita of the Sankirtan around the Lord Jagannath cart, and how Lord Chaitanya organizes everything. It was such a sweet pastime that you reminded us of. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your association, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Wonderful class, Prabhu. I second what Param Prabhu mentioned. Beautiful description of the organization of Mahaprabhu during the Dhatra festival. And also one thing that I really liked is how we should receive, or how compassionate Paramatma is, that the very tongue which we use to criticize the Lord is being empowered, so to say, because of the Lord himself. So that's how compassionate he is. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a very beautiful point too, which I thought. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning, I got the email of the temple that you're all wanting to open in Bethany, and that it falls into the line of planning for Sankirtan, of organizing resources and creating a place where the devotees can give their energies to. And it's so inspiring to see from here the ambition and the desire of the devotees in Portland to do something like that. It's very inspiring from here. So thank you very much for everyone who dared to think about something like that, and to share it, and to open it up to the devotees to have a chance to assist in that transcendental mission.
Any other devotees would like to share appreciation or comments or questions? Okay, I think so. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for taking your time, Prabhu, to give a wonderful lecture on discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Dandava
Krishna.
pranam to all of you.
Thank you. Jai Vajagrapati Vashchakrapatindubhi Evata Paditanam Pavanebi Vaishnubhyo Namo Namah. Antukoti Vaishnudevi ki jai, Gandharaj
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada
Jai.
ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Very wonderful section. This is Smaran. Krishna is always with us. This is very good. Morning, Krishna Smaran is very, very good and very, very better to the people now, Kali Yuga. It is very good. Your expression is very good. I am very happy to, and Krishna also will satisfy for your conversation and your speech. Thank you very much.
Jai Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.